Hello and welcome to the AfricaEcoRace 2016, a true rally raid for cars, buggies, bikes and trucks from Monaco to Dakar across the very best and worst African terrain. We restart today in Mauritania after the first week in Morocco, and Sunday was a rest day. A chance for teams and the organisation to relax a little around the bivouac and make some repairs. In Dakhla, a kite surfing haven on the beautiful Atlantic coast of southwest Morocco. Well, let's take a look back at the story so far before we launch into Mauritania. The bikes have made it over their first 5 stages, 1,600 kilometres of competitive racing, over mixed surfaces and with mixed results. Well, this is Stéphane Hamard. He's currently in 4th place, the Frenchman having finished the stages so far consistently in the top 10. He is an experienced rider on the AfricaRace, but all of his age and wisdom couldn't help him when he has to stop in the middle of the desert to sort out a problem on his bike and get going again. Now this is the KTM of Russian rider Dmitry Agoshkov. It's his first time at the AfricaRace and it's proving promising for him. He's 3rd overall with a time of 23 hours, 47 minutes, 28 seconds. That's a long time in the saddle and occasionally off it. Hugely impressing this year is Anastasia Nefontova. The reigning women's world champion in motorcycle rallying has been competing since 1999, apart from taking time off to have children and study at university, and despite a couple of spills, she's in an impressive 2nd overall. But no one can touch this guy. At the moment, Per Anders Ulevalseter on his KTM looks set to defend his title as the winner of the African Eco Race. Overtaking many competitors, he has utterly dominated the field and is overall leader by an outstanding 2 hours 15 minutes. So there we have confirmation of the leaderboard. Just outside the top 4 we have Norbert Dubois and the Italian Stefano Chiusi. Now, obviously competing on the same stages, over the same number of kilometres, but with double the number of wheels, and double the number of people on board, the drivers and co-drivers have covered 1,600 competitive kilometres over the 6 stages. Serious contenders like Anton Grigorov, Yuri Shazanov and Ricardo Leal dos Santos have all hit problems, meaning they are way down in the classifications. Now this is last year's winner, Jean-Antoine Sabatier, in his buggy. He had puncture problems on stage 1 and again on stage 5, but a stage win on stage 4 and consistently motoring his buggy over this incredible scenery means he is currently in 4th place. A real contender for a win this year is car 210 Mathieu Serradori, and despite being beached on the stage, changing tyres, several punctures, he's currently 3rd overall. He won stage 2 and was 3rd quickest on stage 5. He is very well placed to move up when we hit Mauritania. Now this is Pascal Thomas, the French driver in his Optimus. He's in 2nd position overall. His time of 19 hours shows how consistent he is. His experience is shining through. No stage wins yet, but he has been 2nd quickest twice. And this is Kanat Shagarov. Despite that moment where he got beached in the sand, had to change a tyre, he is our overall leader in cars and buggies and has a lead of 27 minutes over Thomas, the Kazakh driver in his Toyota. has a very impressive lead. Look at that as he powers across the dunes. And so to the big beasts of the desert. The trucks are totally stealing the show here. The field of 7 crews have been looking spectacular over the dunes. We've had major problems for Thomas Tomacek with punctures and broken wheel. That means he's currently way down the standings, over an hour behind his closest competitor. So let's look at our top 4 so far. This is Hungarian driver Miklos Kovac in his Scania truck. He's got an overall time of 22 hours, 18 minutes, 42 seconds. He was the 2010 winner of the Africa race. It's its 7th visit here, and he's still looking for a second victory. I love that when they're almost like they're dropping into a half pipe when they go down some of those dunes. Now this is Elisabetta Jacinto. She has put in an awesome performance. She's 3rd overall. She's currently the most successful female truck driver in the world and would love to add the Africa race to her long list of trophies and titles. Just ploughing into the sand. Look at that, just getting stuck in the dunes. It won't be the first or last time that has happened. 2nd overall, the 2nd of the Kamaz fleet, truck 403, Sergei Kuprianov is playing wingman to his teammate, and despite a few hiccups along the way, is looking solid for a truck podium, with an overall time of 19 hours, 49 minutes and 44 seconds. But at the moment, no one can touch this man. The man who calls his crew Blue Lightning is absolutely flying. This is Anton Shibolov, the Russian driver, arguably the best truck racing driver in the world in his Kamaz master truck. Now, this crew made history on Stage 4 on New Year's Day by leading the overall standings. That's the first time in the Africa race that a truck has managed to be the overall leader. He's keeping a level head and is still 2nd overall, as well as leader of the trucks by over an hour. But it is Kanat Shagirov, the Kazakh driver, who leads. Now, the Mauritanian terrain is very different, so the so-called rest day still meant hard work for the teams to make repairs and preparations. Let's find out what Mathieu Serradori's MSR team have done. He says, we made the most of this rest day to take care of the clutch, a piece that gets broken with time. For this operation, you have to dismantle the gearbox before you can replace the clutch. It's more maintenance and prevention, really, than making repairs. I do this to be able to run the most kilometers possible on the rally without damage. It's crucial because this week we will go to the big dunes of Mauritania and we need to have a strong gearbox and clutch. So that's why we need some new pieces. We also work a lot on the transmission and all the breakable pieces like the joints. We replace them and put some oil on them so that the transmission works properly and goes as far as possible in terms of kilometers. Transmission, gearbox, clutch. These are the main pieces we look after during the rest day. Then we work on the shock absorbers for the car, and after this first week in Morocco, we change their setup for Mauritania. We raise the car body up by changing the setup of the springs. The suspension is dismantled, set up and reassembled on the car. Afterwards, a lot of checks, obviously around the car, the front, the steering, the bearings, the brakes. These are the daily control points, but during the rest day, we check them a bit more, and we preventatively replace them. So all of the teams are making similar changes, ready for the first stage in Mauritania. Stage 6 is relatively short, a sprint from Dakhla to Chami after crossing no man's land between Morocco and Mauritania. 174 kilometers of full sand starts in the village of Boulanoir. Third quickest on the bikes through this stage was Dmitry Agashkov. The top 3 separated by only 10 minutes today, not measured in hours like the longer days. The Russian rider was only 3 minutes behind second place. In second place is French rider Norbert Dubois. Now, considering how much Ole Valseter is dominating this rally, this is the second time that Norbert Dubois has posted the second fastest time, which must almost feel like a stage win. But the actual stage win was this guy. The Norwegian continues his clean sweep, increasing his overall lead to 2 hours, 27 minutes.
I'm very satisfied with my stage today. There was flat out for 170 kilometers, so I pushed really hard and I felt sorry for the engine sometimes.
Feeling sorry for the engine because he's pushing it too hard, and look at that. A dominant stage win. In the overall standings, Agoshkov is catching Nifontova for second position. Let's see how the cars do in the buggies across this Mauritanian terrain. This is Pascal Thomas. He really wants to win this rally. On this stage he came third. This is Kanat Shagadov with a time of 1 hour 17 minutes. He might have thought he'd got the stage win. He was super fast all the way and he still leads overall. But the stage win was this guy, Dominic Huzio. A great stage for the MD Rally Team Buggys, first and third. We've had 5 different stage winners on the 6 stages so far this rally.
Eh bien, effectivement, c'est une première.
He says it's a first win for Team MD, so I'm very happy about that.
Très content.
Equally, my co-driver Loic navigated perfectly today.
Navigation exemplaire aujourd'hui.
It was a really nice, twisty, fast, sandy stage.
Rapide,
everything that I like.
Tout ce que j'aime.
In the trucks, every day is a marathon stage for Thomas Tomacek since his assistant's truck blew its engine last week. He was third. Anton Shibalov, the second of the trucks by only 40 seconds and still the overall truck leader. A flat-out attack from the number 2 Kamaz crew. Sergei Kiprianov was quickest truck on the stage and still 6th in the overall classification with the cars. He says the stage in Mauritania is very, very soft sand, which is good for our truck, and that was a fast stage, maximum flat out on the accelerator the whole time. Confirmation then that Dominic Huzio and Pascal Thomas made it a very good show for the Buggies. The Buggies are fighting back. Join us tomorrow for stage 7.